you ready for question and answer time with Todd and Aaron?
It's time for Q&A with T&A. By the way, that stands for Todd and Aaron.
All right, welcome in to Q&A with T&A. My name's Aaron Montgomery. This is Todd Downing. Todd, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Man, I'm doing fantastic for a Wednesday, and we didn't get plowed with snow. I can't be upset, right?
Is the snow coming, though?
Oh, no, it's already done.
Oh, really?
For us,
Okay.
it's done.
Right.
But to the east and south of us, they're getting piles. And by piles, I mean, I think they're going for 18 to 24 inches. It's amazing. We've got about an inch and a half. So, I could really make a dirty comment about promising 15 and delivering an inch and a half.
Yeah, that's not.
It's Wednesday.
Too funny. All right. Well, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia right now. So no snow here, but back home in St. Louis, my wife said she's been shoveling lots of snow, but most of it's actually supposed to come down tomorrow morning, I guess. So I'm hoping my flight back tomorrow is not, even though most of the flights today into St. Louis were canceled when I was looking at the website there for the airport. But hey, it is what it is. So
what's another day in Atlanta, right?
Exactly.
Something to do.
Our neighbors actually were supposed to come back from their vacation today, but their flight got canceled. But they're in Mexico on the beach. I'm like, oh, poor you guys have to stay on the beach a couple extra days.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Let me get out the world's smallest violin for you.
But how does that work? Like, can I just stay at the resort longer? I mean, I got to pay extra days and all that stuff, right? I mean,
you got to pay extra days. Well, they found out their flight was canceled before they checked out, so they got early enough warning. So yeah, I think there was space available and they're staying an extra day. I actually, after we get done here, have to go downstairs to the front desk here and just see if they've got availability in case I need to stay an extra night tomorrow here in Atlanta. So
smart.
We'll see how it goes, but.
If not, I'm sure we have, some of the OSG community that has a couch open for you. You just, make
couch available or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll find a way. I'm pretty resourceful. So anyways, awesome. All right. Well, let's check in. Mo, hello. And Jerry, hey, thanks for popping in and saying hello. We got Sandy checking in with us from Honeybee Creations. And so great to see you, Sandy. Thanks for being here. And, doing a little Q&A here today, Todd. I am woefully unprepared because I've been in meetings all day. So do you have some stuff or how are we going to do this today?
It's in the banners. I have
you are on top of it as usual.
That's the thing. Now I was starting this list thing in the morning to make sure my stuff is there. And that's why, hey, my accountability stuff in the morning when I was on, I'm like, okay, here's my list of stuff to do. Where's the important stuff? I've already got my Friday morning set up for things. I mean, hey,
look at you go.
I just deserve a cookie or something.
Nice. That's awesome, man. I love it. So excellent. Well, we'll check that in 1 second here. We've got Chuck checking in. What's up, Chuck? There you go. Thank you. And Curtis says 6 inches and more coming down tonight in central Kansas. Nice wind. So I think that's all heading towards St. Louis. It just seems like a big, long storm, but it apparently came south from what I'm understanding then.
Yes. Our pretty much our news forecasters in our area said that depending where it goes, we're going to get between, 0 and 15 inches of snow. And they said, so if everybody, in Iowa would just fart in Illinois' direction, we won't get as much. So they must have, because right here on the border, we got like an inch and a half. It was amazing.
There you go. Too funny. And then hello. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you being here.
Are you going to say that one? What is it? Q Aquatics? Is that right? Would you go with that?
No, I think is it Q Aquatics? Yeah, I guess it is Q Aquatics.
Q Aquatics?
I was gonna say like K Aquatics. Maybe it's K Aquatics.
I don't know.
We're probably getting it wrong. I don't know.
I've
got to just practice up. I have to practice up for Friday on Two Regular Guys. Got the sassy subber joining us, and there's quite a bit of discussion about the fact that I can never say her last name correctly.
But why do you? You only need to say it once, right?
Or I just make Terry say it and call it a day.
I think that's what you just do. You just do that. I mean,
Well, I'm going to try here. Ademkowitz. So I think I've
sure.
got it. I
mean, sure, I'll go with that. Like, it's Nikki A. Hey, Nikki. There, you're fine.
There you go. Susie Q. Yes, Susie Q. We got it. Okay. Hello, Susie Q. Thanks for being here. Love it. And appreciate you tuning in here today. All right,
I love that
Todd.
little logo with the Q with the fish. I like that.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Wow.
Yeah, when you bring it up on the screen, that's when I noticed it more.
There you go.
See? Look. Looks like an angelfish, if I remember my
that
fish
is
from
really
6th
cool.
grade. Yeah, see?
Yeah. Jerry says she is a hoot. Just call her Nikki. Yeah. I've just butchered it so many times on Two Regular Guys when she was up for the Reggie Awards that now it's become a talking point, which is fine. They were saying, "Oh, poor Aaron, he's getting so picked on." I'm like, please, if I can bring some entertainment at my expense, I'm all in for that. What's the old saying? All press is good press. So
Yeah, I mean, if you know me, I'm all about butchering things and having things go wrong. So to me, I'm like, oh, look, he's normal. It's perfect.
I'm embracing it like Todd. So there we go.
There you go.
Well, should we get into the questions here, Todd?
Yeah. You want to bring them up?
Right,
you want me to bring them
banners here. So real quick before we get to that, what? Where would I even find those at? There we go.
What are you looking for?
What is the snow causing any issues with your printer en route?
Printer en route has been delayed. It's still in transit. I had a feeling when something says it's going to be here on a Friday that chances are it wouldn't be till Monday, just because I knew the storm was coming. And when I checked today, it did say that look for it on the 7th, which is Monday. So yes, which has really got to suck for the delivery companies because that's 2 days of transit that they're not delivering on a weekend. So that's pushing things back for them. But hey, we'll get it here Monday. So they're supposed to call me when they're en route here, so that way we can set up for the delivery. Because we're just going to have just drop it in the garage. So I've got to move some golf carts around and do it from there, and then we can go on the setup. And I should be, if everything falls into place, and that's saying that everything is here because we're shipping things from different warehouses. They have warehouses in California and they have warehouses in Tampa. Is that right? In Tampa, I think. And so everything should be showing up at the same time. As long as everything's here showed up since the way that we did it, I should be up and running in a matter of hours. So really looking forward to that. So the plan is on Tuesday with Todd to just kind of go through a walkthrough of it. If not, hey, you're going to see a Tuesday with Todd of some troubleshooting of getting a thing going, and it's going to be a fun thing because that's my goal for the show. And if I have to change that goal, then I don't have anything else on tap right now. So we're going with that's what we're doing.
You could try to fix the other DTF.
No, why? That's the thing. Now it's a money versus time thing. So here's the thing too. If anybody is looking into getting the converted printer game, just be mindful that you're going to, that those print heads are not made for that. And I've said that time and time again, that there's a lifespan to them, and it doesn't even matter if it says, here's how many print fires you're going to get out of it. White ink is not made for these, and you're going to run into issues. And so we are starting to see more and more issues, especially now with the temperature changing, because we need to have that humidity. Where we sitting at now? We're sitting at 43%. Yeah, 43%. So, you need to have that humidity there. If it's not, you're going to run into issues. So it's one of those where let me get this one, I can Band-Aid my way through what I have, but let me go ahead and get this new one up and going. And then I got to figure out what to do with the old ones. Do I put new heads in them and get them all refurbished, and then do I send them out to a happy new owner, or do I keep them here as backup? I don't know. I like to hoard equipment, but
because keeping it there as backup can be a little bit of a risk too, because if it's not printing every day, right?
If I flush the whole entire system out, so there's all the lines are clean, new head, new everything, and I just have it ready to go if I need it, it's there. I'm to the point where I have enough connections with people that are doing it that I can go ahead and probably sub out the work. I'm not going to make anything off of it, but if worse came to worse, I could do that, which would be a lot better than having to set up a whole new printer. So I think the plan is within the next month or so, I'm going to give it a good probably 4 weeks after getting everything set up to go. And then from there, I think I'm going to refurbish these, put new heads in it, and I'm going to send them to new homes. I'm going to let somebody else have the opportunity of the madness and see what they
There you go. Gotcha. All right. Well, let's get into those questions then, Todd, if you are ready. But
I am,
before we
sir.
do that, let's say hello to Eric and Wendy checking in. Good afternoon. Hello, Eric.
Hello.
Appreciate you guys tuning in. All right. So first one up here, Todd, and I'm going to lean on you heavily here. What is the difference between a TrueType font and an OpenType font?
Okay. So I'm not 1000% sure, but I always go with the OpenType fonts because the OpenType fonts are the ones that have the glyphs and stuff with it, the alternate fonts. So if you go with the TrueType version, you're not able to get that. So somebody created a font that, if you hit the Alt button, the other thing, and it gives the fun little stuff or the characters with it, you're not able to do that on those through the glyphs. Now there is like that big technical thing, where how they came about, because I think TrueType was with I want to say that was with Apple, and I think it was Apple and Microsoft kind of worked together on that, so that way it could be compatible with like printers and things like that, right? And then came along Adobe and Microsoft were OTF. So I believe maybe I have them backwards, but that's where it kind of all originated from. But the OTF, if I remember right, that's the one I always download. You just have more options with that on the design side of it. Now, the regular person off the street, they're not really going to pay attention to any of that. So they're not really going to, they're probably going to go with the TrueType font over the open. They're just going to click on whatever's there. For us, as on the design side, the OTF is where we want to be. Now, that's what I've always kind of leaned on and went. So if I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody will tell me I'm wrong. But until then, prove me wrong, right?
Yep. No, I think you got it. Again, I'm not real familiar with it at all. I've not done a whole lot, but here we go. We've got something. OpenType fonts. Okay, Eric says OpenType fonts are newer, have more capacity for glyphs, but older software can't use OTF. Most can now use them. There you go. So Eric got that from Eric. So I don't know if it's going to show up in all of the locations here, but here's a blog post that will maybe take you there.
And if not, just head over to the YouTube channels, and that way you're able to see where things are, right? Like,
and where would somebody? There you go, live OSG, or what? Fat Dad. What is it?
Fat Dad Live or Live OSG. They'll get you either one.
Okay, all right.
It looks like you're doing good. Are you back? There you are.
Sorry, my internet must be going bad, so I apologize if I'm talking over you, Todd. Apologies.
Nope, you're good.
All right. So said, oh my God, I just asked Auntie up this last night. So
nice.
There you go. And then, okay, so we got that stuff going. And yeah, Eric says Todd was pretty much close. So there you go.
Yeah, I'll take it. Close is good enough for me.
All right. Yep, that works. So let me see here. You ready for the next one then?
Let's go.
All right. Yeah, here, I need to close a couple things here because it's definitely bogging down on my side. So I apologize. All right. What's the difference between eco solvent and latex printing? Isn't it like Epson and Sawgrass? No, but go ahead, Todd. You probably know more about this than I do.
No. Well, so latex printing is HP's version of printing. Like HP is the only latex printer, where eco solvent, you can have the Muta and the Roland, and there's tons of other ones out there for it. The main difference to me that I found is between the two, latex is going to be ready to go right off the reel. So as you're printing that, you're able to use it. There's no outgassing. Whereas with the eco solvent, there is outgassing. So you're going to have that outgassing time before you can do anything else with it. Send it on its way, laminate it, do ever that with it. As far as durability, that's kind of a toss-up. Some people swear that eco is way more durable. Others swear that latex is way more durable. I've done scratch tests on both of them. I think they're fine with it, especially when you're laminating. It doesn't matter there. Where you'll see it too is on the print size. You can get a lot better detail on the eco solvent, that smaller drop versus the latex. The latex, isn't really great at doing that really small, fine detail. So when I'm saying small detail, I'm talking like things that are like 1 inch and smaller decals with text in there. You're going to get a lot better quality out of the eco solvent. As far as maintenance wise goes, the heads are going to cost you more on the eco solvent side. But on the HP side, you're going to go through more of them because each one is like a disposable head, really. I mean, they're kind of ingenious the way that it works because the maintenance on it super simple, super easy to do. Anybody can change on a head. Eco solvent. Now, if you have a warranty, of course, use the warranty. If you don't have a warranty, learn how to work on your printer because, you could have a tech come out and it could run you, a couple $1,000s to get a head replaced just in the labor, depending where they have to travel from. So those are the differences in the printer. I do believe it is kind of like the Epson and Sawgrass in a way where it's what do you feel more comfortable with? There's Team Epson and Team Sawgrass. There's 100% Team Eco Solvent and Team Latex. Each will stand on their soapbox and say this is the way it is, and we're the greatest thing with it.
And
I think there's pluses and minuses to both.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, Todd, the other thing that's kind of is just kind of understanding. Yeah, so you're in the HP. Obviously, it's latex printing, so you're pushing a latex-based ink through those print heads, and like you said, they're a little more of a consumable. Whereas with an eco solvent, you're pushing a solvent-based ink through those print heads, and when you're doing that, like solvents will degrade plastics and things like that. So it's a totally different print head and the tubing and all that kind of fun stuff. So like you said, it's a little bit more expensive. And I think the other thing to know about eco solvent is everybody thinks that eco is like environmentally friendly, but it's not. It's a solvent based ink, and eco actually stands for economy solvent. This was what I was, and Todd definitely knows a lot more about this than I do, but I was able to learn some of the stuff. At one point I was involved with potentially selling them on Maki eco solvent printers.
So
I was kind of getting this education. and that was one thing that I was really shocked to learn that, because I was the same thing. Because they always put it as like this green color, and but no, it means economy and economic solvent ink. So it's still, again, not the most environmentally friendly thing ultimately, but it's not unsafe either. So
I haven't died yet, and it goes there. So
you still look good. You're fine.
Two other things that I just thought of. Most of your ecos are going to be 120 volts, whereas the HP is 220. So that's something else to think of and to consider if you are looking at it is the power requirements of it. And then on the other side of it, as I've seen this more in the last year, where people are taking the EcoTank Epson printers, which once again, that's economy, because you're getting it in bulk. And there's people out there selling a water-based solvent ink. And that it kind of seems odd in itself when you think about that. And they're saying, hey, no, I can solvent print with this. You can't. If you put my ink into your printer, it will melt it. It will eat it from the inside out. It'll eat the plastic on it. So you are not doing that. Is not a solvent printer. And I don't care what somebody on Etsy tells you. That is not the case. That is just another way for them to hype it up and say, EcoTank. It's not. So anytime you buy any of those converted systems, especially off a place like Etsy, you really need to do your research on it. And by that, just ask around. Ask other people who will tell it to you how it is. And I thought it was something here we should look at. No, it's just somebody just trying to pull the wool over people's eyes. So there.
All right. I'm definitely having internet problems, so just go on without me if you need to, Todd. But I think I'm back. No, it was great, and like I said, Todd definitely is the expert in this field for sure. So just adding my 2 cents, but let's see if I can. Now I've lost my mouse too. There we go. Talking about the fonts, Eric shared there is a new font style that can substitute color SVGs as your type, but you need a recent software to handle those. So Eric clearly has lots of good information about fonts, so we appreciate him sharing his knowledge with us. And maybe if my internet will catch up, Jerry says sometimes outsourcing makes a lot of sense, right? You get somebody like Todd, who's an expert in the space, and let him deal with the solvent inks and print heads and stuff, right?
So I'm going to correct Jerry and say sometimes outsourcing makes a lot of sense. No, a lot of times outsourcing makes a lot of sense. Because that's something that I've learned is that unless you're ready to go all in on something, it's like me. I have a laser, but I'm not going to use it. I have it to use personally. If I'm not doing production on it, why buy it? I've threatened for years now to get an embroidery machine. I just want it to want it. I'm going to send it to somebody who knows what they're doing, because we've had that conversation for years on that focus circles. Once you start stepping outside of that, especially something completely outside of it, on the printing side of it, me going from, the wide format printing to DTF printing, not a big, learning curve there, because we're already doing that. There's a couple different things in software that needs to swap. The rest of it you kind of get. But going to, in laser, you understand how things work, so it's there. But going to embroidery, what's that? There's a bunch of things that can kill me on that. So unless you're ready to go all in on stuff, don't invest in a lot of something, and don't believe that it only takes 30 shirts a month to pay the payment, because that's not how it works.
I love it. All right. So Evelyn checking in with us here. We've got Facebook user driving home and listening. We'll see who that might be. And then Evelyn says, yes, I do not want to do everything. Yeah. And like Todd just talked about, that focus circle is really important to understand what is, like you said, if you can't go all in on it, you're not going to be efficient, and therefore it's a hobby, not a business.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And Evelyn says, yes, embroidery is not easy. So there you go.
Yeah. And that's one of the main reasons I want to get an embroidery machine, not so much to know or to do it, but I need to understand the process of that. So one, I have a better relationship with my embroiderers to know, when they're using terms like tension and weight and this, and I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? I don't know, and I oh yeah. I hate when that happens. You just agree with them.
That's right. And so it's like every conversation I ever have with Eric Campbell, my eyes glaze over it.
Yeah. No, I'm like, sure. I'm afraid to sit in his circle because I don't want an embroidery question to come up, because I'm like, I don't know, what the hell are you talking about? Whatever. So yeah, it's one of those where I just want to have a better understanding of it. And I think that's why I want one of everything, just so I can have an understanding of it to make it better, and then I can relay the information off to other people to say, don't do it. It's not as easy as that salesman told you it was. It's just not.
Yeah, totally. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Is there an average percentage we should make a profit on jobs? So before you answer, Todd, I'm just going to give the short answer. No.
Yes.
But go.
I was like, this one is right up your alley, because this is one where this could be an hour-long topic on itself.
That's why I wanted to give the short answer.
To me, there is no average, because what my average could be different than what your average is. To me, a lot of it comes down to how fast I can get something done and how much money I can make off of it. If I can bang out 100 or something in an hour, and I'm only making $1 a piece, but that's making $1 a piece after everything's paid, I made $100 in that hour profit. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Now, if I can only do 5 things in an hour and I make $1, well, hey, that didn't really work out well. Sure, I covered everything, but I still only had $5 profit. So this is where, to me, I will stand on the soapbox and say this is where the 5 keys comes in handy, and to know what it costs you to run your business. And then from there, when you go into the part 2 on pricing, I think that's one of the best tools that we have, is to go in there and you can play with your numbers to see, hey, here's my percentages, here's what I'm making on stuff. So you can see, can I bid out this job? Can I make this worthwhile to me? We're going through it right now with doing a quote for a softball league. And what they gave me was 200 to 300 jerseys. They want them sleeveless, They want individual, or there's 12 on a team that are going to have individual fronts and then random backs, and then they can add a name to it if they want. So there's a lot of variables on this one. And the biggest thing is I said, how set are we on sleeveless jerseys? And they said, we're absolutely 100%. This is what we want. I said, okay, I may not be the printer for you because I was going through stuff. They're kind of tough to find right now for what they're looking for. And I don't know if I want to put myself in that position for something in, 2 months from now, where I said, yep, here's what it is. And I can give it out there, say, based on current inventory levels, this is where we're at. But I know how quick we can bang out the job. I know where we can be at, and it could be a good money maker. But if things aren't, set up correctly, it can also be a big loser of money too. So, knowing how to price things is definitely perfect.
Yeah. And you knew I couldn't just not talk about this because, like you said, this could be an hour-long show. There are some, like you said, there's all these variables. So it really does come back to knowing your numbers. And kind of being able to go from there, because percentages can be a real tricky thing. I've seen a lot of people really kind of, I don't know, when they ruin their businesses, but cause themselves these headaches because they're so like, it's got to be 30%. It's got to be 40%. It's got to be, whatever. And when you start looking at things that way, a couple things come into play. Like 30% of $1,000 job is, like you said, if you're making, how much are you making on that? Mm-hmm. How long does it take you and that kind of thing? But 30% of a $5 job, like hard to pay your bills on that ultimately, But if you're able to do enough of those things, right, and that's where it becomes. So it's less about what percentage you should be at and more about what you need to drive your business. And like Todd mentioned, that's why to us the 5 keys is such an important tool. Because you have that framework that technically the way we've built it is if you make 0% profit on that job, you're still winning. And then you can then work up from there. If you don't want to do that. I mean, obviously I'd like to make profit right out of the gate, but if this job was really important to your business, so maybe Todd, your business was all about making those sleeveless jerseys and that was like everything that Fat Dad stood for, then you would probably figure out a way and be willing to kind of get down to that because maybe that's a relationship you want to build or whatever. But again, in this case, you're seeing the potential pitfalls down the road and what it could cost you. And so you're going to say, yeah, I'm going to, even if I do bid this job, I'm going to bid it a little bit higher because, if I'm going to win this, I got to make sure I'm getting paid for the potential headaches and time and commitment that's going to take here. So I always kind of try to stay away from those percentages. And the way that then to really look at this though, Todd, is not when you're setting up your pricing, it's in the review process after you've had some data, some jobs under your belt and you figure out, okay, what is my percentage now? And then what do I need to do to increase that percentage? So instead of looking at it as on a granular, okay, I'm setting my pricing or this one-off job, to me, when you look at profit percentages, it's all about the review after the fact for, okay, how do I now make my business better by having a little bit bigger profit margin? So because I've known people that have been very successful, make money, pay themselves, do all that stuff, making, doing like wholesale stuff where they're making 5-10% profit margins, but nice volume and they're very efficient at it. Whereas I've seen people that, are out there in the Etsy world or wherever that, think that they're making 60-70% profit and they're struggling, so to say, hey, here's the average price, I think we would be doing people a disservice there. So
100% agree with that.
All right. I tried to go quickly, but I couldn't do that. So.
You did great. I think you did great at it.
All right. Well, let's see. We got a couple comments here real quick, maybe if my computer will get back to that, and then we'll get to another one. All right. Oh, Jerry was talking about when you were trying to when you said you wanted to get an embroidery machine for, that's like saying you want to go to medical school to understand your doctor. So.
Well, I'd go to veterinarian school because it's cheaper. It's the same thing.
All right, Dax. Thanks for switching over to YouTube, and thanks for tuning in while you're driving home. Stay safe, and hopefully we're able to help share some good stuff.
Yeah,
And Jerry, you're very welcome.
always.
All right. So you ready for the next one, Todd?
Yeah. Let's go with the next one.
Okay. Is there a recommended humidity range for sublimation printing?
Well, since I'm not super technical, Aaron will probably be able to give us an exact like decimal point, but I'm going to say between 40 and 50%. That's where I keep my humidity for my printing, and that's where I'm at on it. Short answer, 40 to 50%. Aaron, now give us the real number.
Yeah. You're right. You're right on the money. I don't know if you need to get all the way up to 50%. I've tried to keep my printing ranges in the 40% range for sure. I mean, 50 is fine. Because most of these systems are water based. An excessive amount of humidity won't affect your printer, but it might start affecting your paper. So that that's more paper than ink. But the other thing to think about here too is I hate to keep kind of saying, well, it depends, but it really does. Your Sawgrass printers are a gel-based ink system, so it's a totally different print head, and they like a little bit different environment compared to an Epson printer, which is a piezo, water-based system, and that it does have a little bit different environmental requirements too. So, but the one thing I would definitely recommend though is find out for sure what your manufacturer recommends. And if you are converting, I would err towards the higher side even more than their recommended amounts. Because again, the ink's not made to go through that printer. And I know the argument, oh, they're all pretty similar, but the when it's a proprietary ink, the printer companies actually tune the print heads to that ink. And so you've got a little more wiggle room in there. But yeah, and I can't remember the name of the things, and maybe you know it, Todd, but the little things that tell you what the humidity is, hygrometer, I think is what it is, something like that. Hydrometer. Yeah. So you can get those things off of Amazon for like 10, 15, 20 bucks. I don't think they're maybe even not that much. I think it's more probably in the $10 range. And I would recommend getting one and sticking it on top of your printer. And yeah, so if I see that thing get below 30%, I start freaking out like, oh crap, let's make sure we're running the printer. And then let's get some humidity in here. Little humidifier works, or if you got a bigger space, you're gonna have to get a bigger one. Whole home, I think, is what you use, Todd, right?
Yeah. So, if anybody has the option to do that, I 100% recommend it. The average person can install a powered humidifier in their house. If you can work on your printer and your equipment that you have, you can install a humidifier. There's a water line to run, and then you need some low voltage wiring. It comes with everything there. Everything's the video on it. I mean, you can pick them up at Menards, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever, for about $250. The great thing about those is that once it's installed, you just got to change the filter with it. The biggest thing about the room ones is you have to keep adding water to it. So you have that where you keep adding water to the system. With this one, you're going to have water pass through it. Now, the flip side of it, they're going to use a lot more water, because it's a water passing over. What it is water coming in, it's passing over a filter. There's two different ways that can happen. It's a bypass and a powered. Like mine will, right now, my HVAC system is not on, but my powered humidifier is on because, I don't need the heat, but I need the humidity. So that's continuously running. There's a fan that's pushing that humidity through my system in it. But we've got great humidity. And we started noticing when things aren't working right. I mean, you start seeing that static. You start seeing those issues with things. So I was one of the things when I was doing HVAC that I told people, hey, if you're putting a new system, put this in. The comfort level is so much better too. You're going to have a warm. The moist air is a lot better for you anyway. So yeah, if you are having issues with humidity, look at getting one of those. They're super. I think there's something worth it. Our first one, 8 years, and all I did was change a filter in it every year. Now the other one I got lasted 2 months, and I just went and got a new one because it was just a fluke thing. But you're fine. So I would definitely go with it.
Cool. Awesome. Great information, Todd. Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
All right. Well, that concludes our questions here. If you have other questions you would like for us to handle on the next episode, I was just looking that up. I believe it's the 23rd of February. So we're going to have 2 weeks where we've got OSG training and then the implementation week. And then we'll come back for Q&A on February 23rd. But if you go to oursuccessgroup.com/QA, that will get you to the form where you can put your questions in there, and we'll do our best to answer them, or some of the listeners will help us, like Eric did with the font question, even though you nailed it, Todd. So
I got close. I got close enough, right?
Yep, you did great. So, but Eric gave us even more, so that that's what we want to do: provide extra
value adders. Eric did.
So, Evelyn, get those questions in there at oursuccessgroup.com/QA. So we'll get that answered. And nice thing about living in Florida is what she says.
Well, it's like here, we can have a crazy 80%, 100% humidity. Like I said, there's two types of weather where I live. It's either winter or July, where it's hot and humid and it feels like you're breathing through a towel, or it's cold and dry and, you're shocking everything by, just moving your feet a little. So, to move to a place where to not have to deal with that, I mean, it's looking better and better every time I think about it. It really, really is.
Yeah. All right, Todd. Well, my internet is deciding that it's trying to crap out on me again. So I think without further ado, we should probably call it an evening. What do you think?
Yeah, I say we call it an evening. Then we can be back here in 3 weeks. If you want to see us before then, we have training next week. We have David Haynes in from Krill Trainer. Not talking Krill Trainer, though. And interesting enough, he's going to talk sales with us. If that's something you're interested in learning more about and you're not an OSG member, you can join Club OSG for the low price of $5 for your first month, and you can get in on that training. So that's next week, followed up by the implementation, whatever. My internet's cutting out. I'm using that as an excuse. Followed up by our call.
Cutting out is causing you problems. Okay.
Yeah. And then we'll be back here in 3 weeks.
And if you're looking to be part of the implementation meeting, that's for the OSG squad members. I don't know if that cut out on me, but so you'd have to upgrade into that level. Just get over there. Let us know what questions you have. We'll point you in the right direction. We'll get you set up with what's going to be best for you. The question here from Facebook user says, what topics for sales? So what what this is all about are the, and Todd, you can share your thoughts here too, because we'll put this together, but the title of it is Crucial Selling Strategies. Mm-hmm. And I think what really kind of is the impetus for this, the reason why we felt like this was important, is in today's day and age, people think marketing is sales. Mm-hmm. But marketing is actually the part that's supposed to bring people to you. And I don't believe most of us are kind of natural salespeople. And we're not looking to, turn you into a bunch of like natural salespeople that you can go, sell used cars or something like that. And that's not what this is about. This is really about what are the strategies that you can use to be better at asking for the order. How do you create those? Okay, the marketing got people to you. Now, how do you turn them into customers? And how do you do that without feeling gross and dirty? Right. And that's why we asked David to join us, because David is a master of this. He's just really good at helping people kind of, if you get them in front of David, there's a good chance that David is going to help them get into the Krill Trainer program or whatever it happens to be that they sell. And he does it in such a way that he's creating these relationships. And so we really want to pick his brain, and we've kind of put together a program where it's specific strategies that you can use. What is the process that he goes through, and how does that work for somebody that maybe isn't as natural at it as he is, and he's told me, he says, hey, this is not something that just came natural to me. This is something that I have created and built over the course of his career as a salesperson in this industry. So, Todd, yeah, I kept going, but what else do you think to share there?
There's more than just the ABC, always be closing. As much as we always want to be closing, that's relationship there. And we had the privilege of having a booth next to Carl Trainer, and so we were able to, hear David on some of the stuff. And a lot of it wasn't so much him selling a customer, as so much just talking and asking questions. And the customer would sell themselves on it, and that's where a lot of it came from. Is those questions will, asking the right questions will get you, the right answers and the right results. So I think that's a big part of it too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the other part of it was people would stop by our booth and talk to us and, oh yeah, we don't have the money. And then they go next door and spend more money with David. And we're like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was, yeah, always be closing. Did not work. I wanted to go watch Boiler Room, because that's one of my guilty pleasure movies is Boiler Room. If you haven't seen it, you should go see it, because it just, there's some good parts to it, and
Nice.
like I said, one of the biggest things that I've taken from that is, when you're there with a salesperson, here's what's going to happen. Either they're going to sell you on why you need it, or you're going to sell them on why you don't. Somebody's making a sale in every conversation you have. So that's something I've always taken away from it.
Yep. I love it. Todd, it was Nick DiNardo. Yeah. So he's an OSG squad member. So we'll see him there. And I'm not sure if David's going to make it for the implementation meeting, but we'll effort to have him along, but we'll definitely get all that implemented. Because again, it's not about, you have to be a natural salesperson. It's what is the process? What goes into this? How do you make that a comfortable experience where you don't feel yucky, the people on the other end don't feel yucky? It's just that next step. And so how do you go from, hey, I'm interested in what you're doing, which is what the marketing is all about, to, yes, I want to be a customer. And that's sales. And so that's what we're going to talk about, that process. Excited for that. Sure.
Yeah. And that's a week from today.
1 week from today. All right, you guys. Todd, great job. Thank you, sir. And we will see everybody soon. I'm hoping to get back to St. Louis tomorrow, but I may stay in sunny Atlanta for another day. We'll see.
Don't blame
you. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening, and we will talk to you soon.
See you guys.